Amahle, I'm seeing someone else. For a moment nobody moved. The words floated in the room like smoke after an explosion. Amahle blinked slowly, as if her mind was trying to rearrange reality into something that made sense. 35 years. 35 years of marriage. Of raising children. Of building businesses. Of sacrificing dreams. And somehow, everything had just been reduced to one sentence. Across the room, Malik stared at his father as if he were looking at a stranger. "You're joking," he said quietly. Daniel didn't answer. He simply rubbed the back of his neck and looked away. That was the moment Malik understood. This wasn't a joke. Amara's voice trembled. "Dad, what are you talking about?" Daniel finally spoke again. "I didn't plan for this to happen," he said. "But I met someone at the tennis club." Amahle felt her stomach twist. The tennis club. So that's where it began. "She's South American," Daniel continued. "Her name is Camila Alvarez." The name landed like a stone in the middle of the room. Amahle could hear her own heartbeat now. Low, heavy, unreal. Daniel continued speaking as if he were explaining something ordinary. "She's younger, she's full of life, and being around her makes me feel like myself again." Malik slammed his fist on the table so hard the glasses rattled. "Like yourself," he shouted. Daniel's eyes flashed. "Don't raise your voice at me. You're destroying this family and you want respect?" Malik shot back. Amahle lifted her hand gently. "Malik, please." Her voice was calm, but her fingers were trembling. She turned back to Daniel. "When did this start?" Daniel hesitated. "A few months ago." Amahle nodded slowly. "So all those nights, all those late dinners, all those excuses, they hadn't been about depression. They had been about another woman. Do you love her?" Amahle asked quietly. Daniel didn't answer right away. That silence was the cruelest answer of all. Finally he said, "Yes." Amara burst into tears. Malik turned away. His jaw clenched so tightly it looked painful. Amahle stood there for a long moment. Then she asked one more question. "Are you leaving?" Daniel didn't even hesitate. "Yes." Daniel had already packed. That hurt almost more than the confession. It meant this wasn't a moment of confusion. It wasn't an argument. It was a decision. He picked up the suitcase by the door. Amahle watched him as if she were watching a stranger walk out of her life. "Where will you go?" she asked softly. Daniel avoided her eyes. "I rented an apartment." "With her?" Malik asked sharply. Daniel didn't answer. He just walked toward the door. Amara cried harder. "Dad, please don't do this." For a moment Daniel paused. Then he opened the door and walked out. 35 years ended with the quiet click of a lock. The first week felt unreal. Amahle kept setting the table for 4. Out of habit. Out of denial. Every time she looked at Daniel's empty chair, something inside her chest tightened painfully. Malik noticed. One night he quietly removed the extra plate before dinner. Amahle looked at him. "You didn't have to do that," she said softly. Malik's voice was calm, but there was anger beneath it. "Yes, I did." Because unlike his mother, Malik refused to pretend. Rumors travel fast in communities, especially when the story involves betrayal. Within weeks, people began whispering. The woman Daniel had left his family for was beautiful. Very beautiful. Camila Alvarez was 31 years old. Long dark hair. Bright green eyes. A body that turned heads everywhere she went. She had recently moved from Colombia. Worked occasionally as a fitness instructor. But what really caught attention was how quickly she had become close to Daniel at the tennis club. Too close. Amahle tried not to think about it. But some nights, when the house was quiet, images invaded her mind. Daniel laughing with another woman. Daniel touching someone else. Daniel building a life that didn't include her. 35 years replaced in a matter of months. The months that followed. Daniel didn't call much. At first, Amahle believed he was simply caught in the excitement of something new. But weeks turned into months, and silence grew heavier. The children reacted very differently. Amara grieved quietly. Sometimes Amahle would find her crying in her room. Malik, on the other hand, became colder, harder, more protective of his mother than ever before. One evening he said something that shocked Amahle. "If he comes back one day, I won't let him walk through that door." Amahle looked up from the kitchen sink. "He's still your father." Malik shook his head slowly. "A father doesn't destroy his family and disappear." Amahle didn't argue, 'cause deep down, she feared he might be right. The phone rang on a rainy afternoon. Amahle answered absent-mindedly. "Hello." The voice on the other end was quiet, almost embarrassed. "Amahle, it's me." Her heart skipped. "Daniel." For a moment she couldn't speak. Finally she whispered, "What do you want?" There was a long silence. Then Daniel said something she never expected. "She left me." Amahle blinked. "What?" "Camila, she's gone." The story spilled out slowly. Camila had believed Daniel was wealthy. She thought he still owned multiple businesses, that he had large savings, that the life he promised would be luxurious. But reality eventually revealed itself. Daniel had very little money left. The businesses were gone. The debts had destroyed everything. Then one day Camila asked for a large amount of money. Her mother, she claimed, was seriously ill in Colombia. She needed help. Thousands of dollars. Daniel couldn't provide it. And suddenly, Camila realized the truth. The man she thought was rich was almost broke. Within days she disappeared. Just like that. The great romance that destroyed a marriage collapsed in less than 4 months. Daniel's voice on the phone sounded different now. Smaller. Broken. "I made a mistake," he said quietly. Amahle closed her eyes. 35 years of memories flooded her mind. Their wedding. The births of their children. The beach house. The laughter. The betrayals. "What are you asking, Daniel?" she whispered. "I want to come home." The words hung in the air. Amahle didn't answer immediately. Because somewhere in the house, Malik was walking down the hallway. And he had heard everything. Malik stepped into the kitchen slowly. His eyes locked onto the phone in Amahle's hand. He didn't need to ask who was on the other end. His voice was calm, but it carried a weight that filled the room. "He's not coming back." Amahle's heart tightened. "Malik." "No," Malik said firmly. Amahle could hear Daniel breathing through the phone, waiting, hoping. But Malik looked straight at his mother. "The man who walked out of this house is not welcome here again." Amahle held the phone tightly. Her voice trembled. "Daniel, I'll call you back." She hung up slowly. And for the first time since the betrayal began, Amahle realized something terrifying. The family that Daniel had destroyed had already begun learning how to live without him.